Happy Magical Monday for yet another week. Here we are, and time is literally flying. It has energetically sped up. So if you're like, how did we get to July of 2023? Where did the time go? Where has the last 4 years gone? Where has the last 10 years gone? Where has the last month gone? Where's the last 7 months gone? It is literally an energetic vortex of shifting energy. So what does that mean when we've shifted energy? We have this ability to feel like we're in sync with time. Time isn't really real. And so astrology is one of the ways where we clock where we are in the map of time, as we would call it. But time is subjective. Sometimes you feel like it's going really slow, usually when you want something to happen. And that's where the law of patience comes in. So one of the universal laws that I love to work with is the law of patience. And when I realized that the law of patience doesn't state that the lesson is to make something happen just by surrendering, the actual lesson in the law of patience, and this is key, ladies and gentlemen, the actual lesson in the law of patience is being able to maintain a good and healthy attitude while waiting, especially when the waiting is out of your control, where there's circumstances, or maybe you know exactly when it is and it's just not now, because the attitude that you hold creates your vibration. And I personally am working with this myself. The reason why I talk about the laws is I too have to struggle sometimes with the laws of the universe or the laws of natural law or nature. And so I really think of this as a natural law, because when we are in the good attitude of patience, we actually experience time speeding up. When we are in the attitude of it's going to happen at this time, or it's going to happen at divine timing, it feels lighter, and it actually is the frequency. The other thing is, time isn't linear here. When you actually start meditating, when you actually start connecting to the energy, it is all technically happening at once. This is what quantum physics will tell you. And it's also what we learn spiritually, is that we can go into our heart, our mind, our soul, and connect to whatever it is we desire. And it is within our imagination, within our mind's eye, and the energy of peace and love, that we can actually bring ourselves to having the experience of it's already mine, it's already there. And if that is something you want to really grasp and really work with, definitely send me a private message, because this is what I teach. This is what we will work with you. I see a couple of my favorite clients on live right now, and as I'm saying this, I'm thinking of their journey. They actually have been learning exactly what I'm talking about, how to shift what you desire and your timelines to actually be made more manifest, because of the way you connect with it as already yours. We use the theta brainwave or the gamma brainwave. We use breath work, and we certainly use healing work. So that is one of my absolute joys, is to teach the Living Magically coaching program. And so if that's something you're interested in, or you want to join me for one of my programs, send me a private message, and we'll connect, and we'll pick out a program or a plan that works for you. The other thing that I wanted to share with everybody is the fact that I have been asked to teach tarot. And I have been asked probably 20 dozen times in the last 10 years. And I have actually never taught a tarot class per se. I've taught oracles, I've taught psychic readings, I've taught Akashic Records, and I am, for the first time ever, and maybe the last time, I'm going to record it once and that's it, going to do a full immersive journey through the tarot, the full hero's journey. We're going to go through all the major arcana. We're going to go through all the cards. We're literally going to have a 5-month immersion into understanding more of the esoteric, more of the meaning of the cards, how to read them, and how it pertains to your soul's journey and the laws of the universe, and how we can actually read with the Akashic Records when we use this divination tool that has been around for quite some time, and it's really powerful. So if you're interested, we're doing a one-time buy-in, a very special 7-Eleven special, and it is just until the end of the day on 7-Eleven, which is a one-time payment of $500. We also have the ability to buy in at a later time, and we also have a payment plan. But tomorrow we're having a flash sale because 7-Eleven is one of my favorite, most magical days of the year. So let's talk about that. 7-Eleven, really mystical, powerful number. You don't think 7-Eleven, the convenience stores, it was an accident? It's actually one of the power numbers in the entire numerology world. Its energy is coming up so strong right now in the field. We are being asked to reorganize our brain. We had the 777 portal. It was super crazy powerful, and it's all about sovereignty. We are in the after effects and even in the in-between. So I want to talk about that for a second. So we had 777 last week, and we have 717 coming up, obviously in 10 days. And so this 7-Eleven is this moment where we're in this inner mix. So 777 is a 21. 7177 has a different frequency, but what's interesting is this 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven is a 9. It's a completion. It's a number of wholeness. And so one of the reasons why 7-Eleven is dynamic is you have the master number of 11, which is the inner teacher, and you have the 7, which is your God essence or understanding, spiritual self, soul self. So when you add the mastery of 7 and 11, you're talking about this concept of mastering the soul self. So whatever you do on Tuesday, Tuesday, 7/11, 2023, think about this as, how do I get this master number of 7/7, which is mastering the soul self? The whole month is a portal this year of what am I mastering? How am I mastering myself? And the 7/11 is a power day in that. And of course, we go all the way to 7/17, which I will talk about next week's call. So what I'm going to ask you to do this week is, maybe you feel a little rough around the edges. I've talked to a lot of people today and yesterday that are feeling, maybe they're feeling elevated from the 777, or maybe they're feeling like they're coming out of a fog. So a lot of people, or maybe you even have both. You know you're elevating and you feel like you're coming out of a fog. There's not one right or wrong answer. We're in Cancer season, so this means we're extra emotional. We have the moon screaming at us. Hello, I'm in my own sign and I am intense. So if you feel intense internally, this may be projected out into your world. So be gentle with yourself. Give yourself a little bit of extra love. Give yourself a little bit of extra gratitude, and give yourself a little bit more acceptance and forgiveness. The law of humility states that you cannot change something until you have first accepted it. And I find one of the best ways to do that is self-forgiveness. So if you're like, I didn't get all the things done, this is me talking to myself, I didn't get all the things done that was on my list, give yourself a little bit of grace, give yourself a little bit of ease, and remember you're just human. Remember that you are a human being having a spiritual experience and a spiritual being having a human experience. And from that, time is your friend. So make time your friend, make your energy your friend, and make your soul invited in to a little bit of devotion. I feel like right now we have this, the energy, the overarching energy is a review. Maybe you haven't been right since before the pandemic. Maybe you've had these euphoric moments where everything was better because of the pandemic or better after the pandemic, but still not right. And now you have things like inflated costs, or maybe there's just more to do, or maybe there's just more steps in your life. Maybe you have children that you didn't have, or your children are at a different stage in their life. Maybe your job is more stressful. Whatever it is that you are reviewing right now, look at what is possible and what you want to be doing and what brings you joy and what you want. And it's okay to break something that's already broken. And what do I mean by that? Breaking something that's already broken. This has been sort of the theme for the last week since the 7/7. I would say this little piece in between 7/7/7 and 7/1/7 2023 is a period of time where we are looking at what has been broken in our lives that's fused together. You ever see a surgeon that has to re-break the bone to set it in the correct position? I feel like a lot of us have these traumas where we did what we could as far as our healing, and we have to break the habits, the formulas, the systems that we have gotten into so that we can reset and realign to a better, cleaner path, so that we can heal completely, so that we can move forward completely, so that we can be at that 7/11, number 9 completion energy. So what do you need to feel whole? What do you need to feel complete? What review do you need to make? What breaking of an old pattern do you need to break so that you can be in the energy of wholeness and alignment and completion, and doing it together for your soul, doing it together for your heart, doing it together in a way that just lifts you up and opens you up. There's a lot of that going on right now. And so be gentle. We have the disseminating moon. We are going to be in that review period until the next new moon. So last week had that big peak, full moon. We're halfway to the new moon. So we'll talk about new moon energy next week. But right now, you're going into the dark moon. When we go into darkness for the moon, and this is the Cancer energy dark moon. So we have this energy that is about really, what is your feelings? What are you having to review? What feelings are you reviewing? What emotions are you looking at? And how do you want to feel? How do you honor how you really feel, and choose gratitude, choose forgiveness, choose acceptance, choose those things, choose patience. And for those of you just joining, at the beginning of the video, I talked about how patience was the act of waiting for something in a good attitude. So how do we create the good attitude, the vibration, the frequency of the one who already has it while we're in the energy of the one creating it? There's also an ask being brought forward in the energy, and we'll talk about that probably more next week as we change lunar nodes, which again, I'm not going to talk about it this week. I'll talk about it with next week. There's going to be a polarity shift, massive astrological shakeup coming. And as that polarity shift happens and the next new moon happens, I think everyone will feel more expansive. So right now, review what it is you are wanting. Look at the systems in your life that are working. Look at the systems in your life that are not working. It's almost like that summer break is actually very, very much true. We will be hitting that that Egyptian New Year when we hit that next major shift will be toward the end of this month, when we have the astrological alignments that bring in the new year for the energetic Egyptian holiday, which starts on the 26th and really is getting us ready for the 8/8 portal. So we're in that in-between stage of, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I like? What do I not like? And how do I get grateful for the version of me that's coming? How do I collapse time? And again, if you want to work on collapsing time, send me a private message. That is a perfect kind of session to do right now. But collapsing time by energetically moving yourself onto the quantum version of who you have decided to be instead of who you've been out of habit. So you essentially create a frequency and a vibration of the version of you that's becoming, and you collapse time by mentally, physically, spiritually understanding that person, and you become that person without resistance. And then everything has to match that frequency. It's universal law. It's natural law. It's the truth. Once you become the frequency of something, when you become the frequency of the one who already is, of the one who already has, the universe, natural law, the algorithms that we live in collapse, and time collapses, and the laws conspire to work with you and through you. But when you're in victim mentality or in survival mode, or even just, and this is where I think most of you are, because most of you are already spiritual people, but you're in habit, not in cause and effect. You are not the cause, you are in the effect. Something else is causing you to be who you want to be, or who you are instead of who you want to be. It is outside sources creating your internal resources. And we, as powerful spiritual beings, can create our internal resource and be sourced. You are always sourced. You have to remember that you are sourced. I was reading about this just before coming on to this call. You are sourced. And when you realize that, that is the power of the 777. That is the power of the 711. That is the power of the 717 portal, is to recognize that you are source and therefore you are sourced. That, my friend, is the energy that is coming through this week. So if I can help you in any way, please let me know. Live just absolutely magical. Be the version of you want to be. Move through your resistance. Live with a little bit of patience. Live with a whole lot of hope. And if there is that part of you that wants to turn not the blind eye, but the dark eye, wants to look and pick out all the negatives instead of the beautiful mind's eye into creating what you want, then it's time to turn it around. That is what is happening this week. It is time for you to turn around anything that you are ready to elevate on. You can do it. I believe in you. I know that universe has your back. I know that you are source. I know that you're divine, and it is your birthright and even your life lesson to understand this through and through. So I hope this has helped. It's a huge, powerful week. I want you to enjoy it. I also want you to be nice to yourself. I want you to be intentional and mindful. And I am sending you so much love, so much hope, and so much of my absolute gratitude for showing up here for this Soul Circle transmission, and also for yourself. Every time you show up for yourself, thank yourself, because it's so easy to just turn away and turn the dark eye instead of going back to your third eye and re-cranking yourself to remind yourself that you are source and that you are sourced. Live magically.